Hey everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Before I get started, I wanted to hawk my wares because, frankly, I've been forgetting about it. And, if I don't promote it, who will? This is my three-book series, novel series, that is, called The Demands. And it's about a young woman, Lady Kilburn, who's 22 years old. She grew up on Jack White, the White Stripes, the Strokes, and all that, while her friends were all into boy bands and, manufactured bullshit pop. And so she assembles a team of misfit toys who all have their own agendas, and they play all these clubs and bars in Pittsburgh, and quite a few of them are owned by the Russian mob. So things get really ugly. They get violent. There's a lot of humor. There's a lot of, just a little of everything. Drama, of course. A little bit of romance. And there's also a sprinkle of blasphemy for those who are into that. So I designed this logo to look like an old ticket from a concert. All right. The 200 pages each. You can read them over the weekend. Okay, that's book one. Book two, I took that picture and made that. And book three, no less than Chuck Dixon, the most prolific writer of comic books in history. He says terse and funny shotgun prose. Anyway, it's Amazon exclusive. Okay, now we get into comics. Marie Severin. Someone who a lot of people kind of forget, and I don't know why. I mean, people who are really into comics, they always remember her, but she doesn't get the spotlight much, and she doesn't get that many articles written about her as there probably should be, because she was very, very prolific, and she was the Jane of many trades, of all trades. This is my first exposure to her work, and this reprint of Tales to Astonish, it just leapt off the racks, and I had to get it. And just when she's paired up with Frank Giacoia, it's a real nice, crisp, solid, just amazing piece of work. And also, Marie she did this story before Silver Surfer 1 came out. So before the Shalabal and Zenla and all that shit, where Surfer surrendered to Galactus to become a herald to save his planet and all that stuff. Silver Surfer was still he was still a bit of a blank slate. He had been learning about Earth through Alicia Masters. And so this is like one of his earlier appearances still. Wow, that's amazing stuff. And he sees, that the cops are around him, and he goes to take him. Someone tackled like me, and talks about Galactus, and he says, then you'll take me away from Earth, somewhere else where I can stop running. That is one thing I cannot do. By order of Galactus, I myself exiled from the planet. You lie. No one lies, the Hulk. Continue after the next page. No, it always should say continued after 2 pages. But that always bugged me. And especially, this is 1974, where there were maybe 17-page stories, which is half of a 32-page comic. So the Hulk's just, he thinks he's lying. He just gets real aggressive. I love that. He's digging in this... digging into solid rock, so he can do some surfer bowling. Everything here is pretty self-explanatory. There's a lot more going on, and he reads the Hulk's mind, which is something that's never been done before or since. But, that's okay. It was a Silver Age. People weren't as obsessed with that sort of thing. Well, he woke up. That is such a great swipe on the jaw there. I mean, even though Silver Surfer is incredibly powerful, that probably hurt. Well, he takes off, and the Hulk's very, very bummed out. And that's That's his lot in life. Anyway, Marie Severin, I mean, she kicked some major motherfucking ass on this book. And, she did a few issues prior and some issues afterwards. And the one that's afterwards, about 7, 8 months later, refer to your Submariner Marvel Masterworks Volume 2 class. I have the original. Hold on. I have the original issue of this, but I can't find it in my boxes. I try and like get rid of some of my comics that I'm. Long story. Some I sell, some I don't, like everybody else. But I still have this one. That cover, wow, that is just, it's astonishing to put it mildly. And Marie manages to have us see both faces. That's a big deal. On the covers, you don't show the back of the main character's head. And also, Submariner and Incredible Hulk shared the book. It was a split book for years. And this time they finally get together, and not in a friendly way. I love this one. I first experienced this a few months after that Silver Surfer issue, but this was in a Marvel Treasury edition that focused on the Hulk. And it blows me away. Marie Severin, she's got her own thing going on. I mean, everybody in Silver Age was strongly encouraged to pick up Jack Kirby style action because he was pretty much a standard bearer. So for some reason, Submariner's watching the Hulk, and he just says, "Together we'll be invincible," because he still has a grudge against humanity for poisoning the waters and damaging Atlantis. And even though he knows he shouldn't be teaming up, I mean, him and Doc Doom haven't really had the best relationship. So, but, it's a whim. Look at him on that boy. That is so masterful. I mean, the posturing is important. He can't just be standing. And if you're doing someone regal, like a prince like Submariner, he has a whole different posture and all that. Okay. Jump to this. Okay, the Puppet Master, who's completely changed. He turned into like one of those generic muscle guys, and whereas he's supposed to be like this tiny little guy with a big old head. Then we get every issue is someone's first. You got the army going out to get the Hulk, as usual. This young Rick Jones guy, defends him. "I'm just a kid, nobody from Nowheresville, blah, 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 blah. We have a job to do. He's free." Okay. Puppet Master's working his magic on him, and he goes, "I'll trust nobody." And he bitch slaps Rick Jones, and so he's really very different because he's always been close to Rick Jones. Well, takes off, lands. Oh my gosh, look at that! Lands in front of Namor, and Frank Giacoia and Marie Severin, Inker Frank Giacoia. I should know. I know so many Italian names. Everybody I know in the family has like a vowel in the back of their name. Well, that's just amazing stuff. And also the fight sequence is very, very thought out. It's not just like one knockdown, it's you follow the whole like that. That's a very unusual and very. See, that's great. He's holding on to him, and he holds on to him again. I know I'm being simplistic about it, but I'm just so excited. It's so great. So he's like, "Destroy him," and he's like, "Whew, you moronic fool!" He threw him in the water, and I love that. He's like slowing himself down in the water, still splashing past him. "My teeny tiny angle wings will help me." So anyway. It's just so much. Oh, and Betty Ross, The only problem with this is, for years, this was the standard. You always had General Ross in the Army, Rick Jones, Betty Ross, who is the Colonel's daughter. They pretty much played the same role for like years and years and years and years, and it just got really old after a while. But There's Glenn Talbot. He's upset that Betty's still in love with Banner. So swears name are the true Submariner. And I love this. This is in Florida. It takes place. But this is just a great. Oh my gosh! It's so different. I mean, she has that Kirby energy, but she has her own language, and it's actually probably a little more accurate. I mean, her buildings look more like buildings, whereas Kirby's look like very complex puzzle pieces, but are still awesome. Love that. There's some condos and such. I can't get over it. I wish I owned that original art. Some lucky SOB has it. Imperious Rex. And this guy calls the phone to get help. So in the water, Namor is winning pretty much. But Hulk is still pissed off, and he's still controlled by Puppet Master. This is amazing stuff. This is also in the Hulk Marvel Masterworks as well, because it's Tales to Astonish that they both share. I love that. The trees, the palm trees. I mean, I had grandparents who lived in Florida and growing up, and this was just, I totally bought into it. It's very, very strong. Okay, actually, this page would be great to own. No words needed. Okay, it's talking time again. There's just so much going on. I love that. And finally, it's like Submariner gets to see. He's like, "Yeah, you want to fight? Step in the water. Come on in." And then, with a Dick Van Dyke sort of face, he dodges the Hulk, swirls around. He's not controlling the water. It's just that he is such a powerful swimmer. I know that sounds trivial, but he can create a funnel of water, or I don't know what you call it. You know what I mean. So what happens is later on, he doesn't know where the Hulk is. And he sees this frail guy, and he lost his dolly. And that's it. I mean, Marie Severin is just so brilliant. And I met her very briefly at San Diego Comic-Con back in 1998. And she did a commission for me. It's like it's one of those non-brand X-type cartoons. And she was so sweet. She was like an aunt that you would like to visit, that you enjoy her company. And yeah, she's just someone she's a legend. And after Kirby left Marvel, she was pretty much in charge of the art. I mean, you had John Romita being a de facto art director, but she did not only did she do coloring for EC back in the 50s, she did tons of production work, and then after Kirby left, she had a big workload of drawing. I mean, and she drew so many covers. She did lots of layouts, and I'm going to give you something else to look at. So it's just me. She did a ton of covers, and she did layouts like for almost every book, and because somebody had to fill Kirby's shoes to get those books out. And she would pencil a lot of them, but a lot of them she just set up for other artists. And also, let me think what else. Oh, anytime there was a book that had likenesses in it, she would draw it, because she was the mistress of drawing likenesses, and she also had a great cartoony style that was used in Not Brand Eck. That's like a humor book that they had for about a year. And well, anyway, that's it. Check out Marie Severin, look her up, and I really recommend getting anything she did. That's about it. So let's hear from Marie Severin, everybody, and I will be back soon. Take it easy.